Okay, so the recording has started. All right. And this recording has started, I think. Okay, so today, if you notice, first of all, okay, so today is, wait a second, it's, we're starting this SQL operators, and that really is a lot of taking what we learned in chapter 4 and 5 and writing SQL equivalent expressions to doing that. And we've already done some of that, and we can do more. But I think I'd rather just kind of sprinkle it in with stuff because it was kind of a useless assignment. You didn't really get too much out of it. And we have moved a lot towards just writing SQL anyway, and along the way I've emphasized or stressed the relational discipline that we've learned in the earlier chapters. So anyway, I changed the assignment slightly to what I was going to cover in assignment 3. I'm going to cover 2 and 3, so I'm going to split it up. So that's basically what I did. We aren't going to do the SQL expressions assignment, and I'm splitting up 3 and actually 2 and 3. So today I'd like to just go over the assignment, and it's not a very long assignment, but it's not that easy. It's not a super easy assignment, but there's not a lot of repetition. Okay, so here's the assignment. We start with this WPC database, which we've seen before. It's got, and I give you the schema for it. It's got a assignments table, which assigns employees to projects. It's got a department table, which it's got information about all the departments. And projects are in departments, you recall, and employees are in departments. And an employee might not be working on a project that's in their department, but some other department, or whatever. So it's kind of like the departments that sponsor projects that employees who are working on projects can charge to, and then employees, they work on projects, and employees belong to departments and so on. Anyway, so it's a little bit like the city attribute in the suppliers parts database. And then there's so that's the departments, and then there's the employee database, and it's the same names that you recognize, and then here's the projects database, which is the same projects that you've seen already. And so you can just copy and paste this into an SQL window. I mean, after you create the database, create a database called WPC, and then just go to it and go to the SQL window, copy this in, and then you'll have your database constraints and all, foreign key constraints and all. Okay, so after that, here's what I want you to do. First of all, I want you to make 3 views. So views is a nice way for me to see if you know how to write an SQL statement that works. And instead of my just looking at the SQL statement and rubbing my eyes and seeing if I see any syntax errors or anything, or you get it to work, and you create a view for it, which means that the SQL statement is in the view. And then to grade it, I just go and I click on your view. First of all, I see it's a view by the create statement. And then I just click on it, and if the table's correct, then the table's correct. And that's easier for you, too. If the table's correct, and then you're done with it. So it's creating 3 views. The first one is to just make a summary of projects and employees, so of their work assignments. So you have these employees that are working on projects, and I want you to, and that comes from the assignments table. So basically, just list what's in the assignments table. But I want you to, all I want to see is the project name, the employee's first name, the employee last name, the email address of the employee, and the number of hours that that employee worked. So it's basically just this table, that's been joined with the employee table and the projects table, and it's able to tell you information from those foreign keys. Okay, so that's easy. The second one I'm asking you to do here is to give me a table that's got one line for each project, and on that line it's got the name of the project, the number of hours that were worked on that project in that, in the assignments table, the number of employees that worked on that project from the assignments table, a list of the employees that worked on that assignment, worked on that project in the assignments table, and there I want just in the field, I want you just to list the names of the employees separated by commas. So Helen, Joe, let's see. So like we have for project 1000, we had number one. Projects. So for projects, so by project you would have whoever number 1 was and number 8 was and number 10 was. And so in that field you'd have Mary Jacobs, Tom Jackson, Ken Nomoto. Yes, right. So these three. Okay, so that's that. So that's what I want in that. Oh yeah, in that row. Employee list, and then the number of hours left. So basically, you sum up the number of hours, and then you subtract that from the max hours, and that gives a an amount that gives an under budget amount, And then I want you to do the same kind of thing for the third one. I want you to do the same kind of thing as employees, for employees. First name, last name, the number of hours that they worked, the number of projects that they worked on, and a list of the projects that they worked on. And of course, I'll do pieces of this over the next couple days, last days, so you know how to do it. And also, I give you some hints. For the first one, you want to use order by to order it how I ask you to order it. And for 2 and 3, you can use these SQL functions. There's a concat function, there's a group concat function, there's a sum function, and you use those, these two especially, with group by to group. For the first one, you're grouping all projects of this, all of the same projects together, and so you're grouping by the project ID. And for the second one, you're grouping by the employee ID, because for each employee, you're grouping all those records together and adding them up and that kind of thing. All right. Okay, that's part 1. Part 2, I'd like you to throw in some two business constraints. Not overdoing it, just a couple here. And one of them is that a project is never overcharged. It'll reject the change that would make it be overcharged. And the second one is that employee never works on more than 3 projects in that period, in that month, I guess. So if you try to put in if you're trying to assign an employee more than 3 projects in that assignments table, it'll reject that change. Now, remember, it's not just inserting an employee. It's changing the employee ID of an assignment that's already in there. I mean, that can put somebody over 3. and and also for a project never being overcharged. I mean, that's not just inserting an or that's not just where you where you're inserting another assignment. It's also if you change the maximum number of hours in a project. That can you want to keep that from happening also. And so basically, I just want you to write the necessary set of triggers to enforce those two business constraints. Okay, and by the way, I didn't tell you here. I want you to load up the database, and I want you to add yourself to the info systems department, and I want you to add your email address. Use your Hawaii.edu email address, so it's you, and then just add 10 hours to project number 1400. So that way, that's a good way of, not in this assignment, but in later assignments, when you're writing PHP, here, I'll talk about it down here, but it's possible that you connect to somebody else's database. You can do that. You're on the same server, and you can tell each other your passwords or whatever. And so we want to, I want to be able to see that it's your database. Okay, so I just thought I'd, tell you that before one of you smart guys figures that out. And we're going along grading. So, and that would be by your username and password inside the global.php. I mean, it's all on the same server. And so that, and this is why I can write some programs to go in and look at your stuff, and I'm just going in and displaying out stuff, and executing your views. I'm just going to go in and execute your views, and I'm going to go in and the triggers are still it's still more or less a eyeballing, correcting, grading your triggers. So I haven't really figured out a good automated way for us to click on something and then we can see that your trigger works, other than trying it. I'll have to think about that. I might tell you some data sets to try. No, maybe I'll set up something so the grader can just click on a button and it tests their stuff. That would require, perhaps you're putting in a PHP program. Okay, we'll get to that later. Okay, we have a little while for that. All right, so anyway, now, we haven't really learned how to make triggers or anything. I think you're learning triggers in those videos. But I thought I'd give you a nice example here of how you would insert triggers to enforce business constraints, and I'm using the supplier parts database to do that. And I can go through this. It's 150. So I can show you how I can go through this and we can see how it works. And we have done triggers before, because right, we did triggers in this class. I've shown it to you. Have I? I think I did. Does this SQL state 45,000 look familiar? It does. Okay. So yeah, I think I might have. Oh, I think I showed you constraints. I think I showed you how constraints are implemented back when I talked about, or back when I covered some of these constraints, chapter 9. Anyway, so we're just implementing those again. And so what I'd like you to do is, here's where you implement the trigger, and then here's some PHP code that you could use to test this trigger. And this runs on your server, and this is to connect this program to your database here. And then this is the database, and this is what I named the database in this example. And this connects to the server. It gives you a connector thing, and this connects your database and whatever. And then, okay, so then so in the query string of this, so this is a PHP program that's on your server, and you click on a link or you type in the URL, and this thing runs. And in the query string, you can put SNO equals a supplier number, ampersand, PNO equals a part number, ampersand, QTY equals a quantity. And what this little program does is, first of all, make sure that you entered in something for all three of them, and then it tries to insert that into the SP table. And if there was an error, it displays out the error. If there was no error, it says it's all clear. And so you can see if the error that comes, so you can try to do something that would violate this constraint, and you can see that the error message that comes out of your trigger is the correct one. So that's how you can test this. So I will so I can go through this and show you, just to show you, and maybe I can load this up. It takes about a minute or less, and then that way you should be well on your way to it. Oh, and I sent you that video yesterday. By the way, I heard YouTube was down yesterday, right? I wonder if my video got up there. I wonder if my video got up to YouTube. But anyway, the link I sent you is exactly the same, and it shows you how to do a basic view, kind of quite clearly, and then and so basically for these, you're just figuring out first. All you do is you got to figure out what the SQL statement is to produce that table. Figure out what the SQL statement is to produce this table. Figure out what the SQL statement is to produce this table, and then just create a view, come up with a good name for it, put it on your server, and that's it. And then we'll come and look at it. So would you like me to demonstrate this stuff for you? Why not, huh? Okay, so let's. So I'm going to go to my server. R1, this one, cPanel, and log in. I hope this video thing is working. I bet it is. Pause recording. That's a clue. That must mean I'm recording. All right. So let me create a database here, and I'm going to name it. I already have a WPC. Okay. So I got to name it WPC2. I'll name it Assignment 2. No, I really like to name it WPC. I guess I can rename this one. First, I'm going to rename this one. Original. No, old. Whatever, I can always rename it back again. All right, so I'm going to create okay, so what I'm starting out doing, I'm doing this part first. I'm going to load up, create this database, and I'm going to add myself in as that. So I'm going to go here, I'm going to create this database named WPC. And there it is, WPC, WPC. Okay, now I'm going to go to PHPMyAdmin, and I'm going to go into WPC, and here it is, got no tables, and I'm going to open up an SQL window, and I'm going to go back here, and I hope this works. I'm going to go down here, and I'm going to grab this all the way down to here. I'm going to copy it, copy, and go back over here and do, I don't see paste. Let me try doing a right Control V. Yeah, there it is, Control V. Okay, so I pasted it all in there. There it is. I'm going to click Go. And lo and behold, here we are, WPC. I've got all these tables. I've got an assignment table. I have a department table. I have a employee table. And I have a project table. All right, so, and I have my the assignment table's got foreign keys, linking it to the project table and the employee table. You see that, nice foreign keys there. Let's see what else. Employee table should have some nice foreign keys to the department table. Yeah, because it's got departments. And the project table also should have a foreign key, which is into the department table. All right, so it's all set up. Okay, now I'm supposed to add myself. Let's see. So I'm going to be dumb. I'm going to say, okay, I guess I'll be employee number 13. And so I'm going to go to the assignment table, and I'm going to add myself, add myself project 1400, employee number 13, 20 hours. Right? That's what it's supposed to be, right? 10 hours. Okay, so insert project. Ooh, look at that. You know why? It's because it's linked up. Oh, I'm supposed to know it for 1400. Here we go. 1400. There we go. Employee number. Oh, look. It's not going to let me add anything. It's not letting me put 13. Ooh, it's not letting me. Why? Because I can't add an assignment to an employee that does not exist. So I better make me exist first. So I have to go back to employee. Yeah, I have to go back to employee and add myself. So I'm going to go insert. I'm going to leave this blank because it's an auto increment. I'm going to confirm that it's auto increment. It is. It's auto increment. So, and the next increment thing is 13. This is the next increment number. That's how you can see that there, or fix it. If you insert a bunch of people and then you delete them out, and you want the auto increment to go back to where it was, then you just have to go in here and change this. All right, so I'm going to insert myself, and it's going to be, I'm not going to put anything there. My first name is going to be Richard. My last name is going to be Halverson. And my department is going to be Info Systems. Info Systems. And my phone number is going to, I'll put my phone number. See, I think it does it this way. 808 is 12. Ooh. Oh, must be 808-371-7424. think that might be. Anyway, and then my email, put richard.edu. All right. And there I got inserted in as ID number 13. So now when we look at employees, we see there I am. Now I can put in my assignment, which is insert PID 1400, employee Richard 13. Boy, that's bad. And work hours 10. I worked 10 hours on that project. Okay. There we go. So now I've added myself in. And so what's next? It's 202. Okay, so then I would start writing these SQL statements and creating these. And I'll leave those for another day. You should maybe kind of think about those and see if you can do those yourself, first. All right, and so let me show you these business constraints here to see how these work. So I'm just going to set these up, and this is the one for this is for inserting into the SP table. Well, anyway, insert. Yeah, before SP table. All right, so okay, so this example I'm doing is not anything with employee visit never overcharged or employee never works more than 2 projects a month. I'm not going to cover those either. What I am going to cover is I'm going to do right now to show you how to write these constraints for this particular example, which is using the supplier parts table in two constraints. Just like there's 2 constraints, so you're going to have you're going to have one trigger because you can only have 1 trigger per table, and so tables, there can be more than 1 constraint being enforced on data in that table, and so they all have to be in the same trigger. So you have. First you look at one thing, and then you look at the next thing. So you'll see that here. All right, so how would this work? So do I have a supplier parts? Which one was this? Oh, this is my S matching P. Oh yeah, this is the one I did where I I made the video with this one. I made this on the video, I think. All right, so I'm going to use this SSP table. Oh, wait a minute. Are there any? There might be some triggers in here already from before. Oh, look at all these triggers. I think they're from. They must be from another supplier parts data. Well, this one must be from that one up there. All right, I'm going to delete all these triggers because I'm going to start from scratch. It's okay because I got them in here too. I got them right here. Yeah, okay. All right, so I've got this supplier parts, and I got my view here from the video. So now if we were to do an export and see what that looks like, it would look like I'll show you all 4 of them. Oh, you can't see that very well, can you? What did I do before to make this bigger? I think I might have. Oh, forget it. I'll just do it from here. Okay, so here's what the thing looks like. here's the create table for the parts. Here's the inserting into the parts, create table for S, inserting into S, create table for SP, inserting into SP. This is the this creates stand-in structure for the view. Stand-in structure. Okay, so that's why that's why you can look at a view and you click on structure and actually displays the structure. That's this thing here. That must be that must be somehow linked. This must be linked to this because, oh, that's funny. See, I should run this to see what it looks like. Anyway, here's the I showed you this in the video. This is the right here. This is the SQL statement to. I need to go down here. I need to make this not so big. Okay, this here is the SQL statement that does the matching. But this wasn't the SQL statement that I typed in originally. What I typed in originally was select the attributes of S natural join SP, and that's it. That's all I said. But this breaks it down to just simple joins and puts the on clause in there, which it does that just in case the attribute names are not exactly the same. All right, so that's just, and then here's the primary keys, and here's the constraints between S and P with SP, but there aren't any triggers in there. All right, so let's go back to this database. And now I'm going to add this trigger in right here. And this is a trigger that goes into the SP table. What this does is enforces shipments smaller than 100 pieces are not allowed unless the shipper and the part reside in the same city. Okay, that's one constraint. The second constraint is a particular part cannot have more than 4 shipments in transit at once. A particular part cannot have more than 4 shipments in transit at once. Kind of a weird constraint. So this here is our trigger, the code for our trigger that happens before the actual insert takes place. So the database starts executing your insert statement. You're inserting in the SP, the user types, insert statement, insert, into SP a new record. And then this thing executes just before the insert takes place. And first of all, it checks what you're entering in as the quantity. And if the quantity is less than 100, then it's got to check to see if this is the case. If the quantity is equal to 100 or greater, it doesn't need to check anything. So this if statement just has to do with if the quantity is less than 100. And what this if statement does is first goes and grabs out the city, the supplier city, because it's got to have a supplier number. It's going to come in with a QTY number, an SNO number, and a PNO number. Because that's what goes into SP table. So and this checks. This grabs out the city of the part. So we've got the city of the supplier, city of the part, and this checks to see if they're not equal. Then stop the insert from taking place, and send out this message here that says, and this is the error message. This is the exception. Throw an exception, and this is the message. Quantity less than 100 cities must be the same. And you can be as elaborate as you want with that because you actually have the name of the city. You can say supplier is in London and the part is in Paris, and the quantity is 75, and we have a rule that says if the quantity is less than 100, then the cities have to be the same. So you could say that because you have everything. Okay, so that's going to stop this from being violated. The second one is a particular part cannot have more than 4 shipments at once. Okay, so and that's enforced right here. So first of all, before it inserts this new record into this new assignment in SP, before it does that, it does the select statement to see what the count of how many shipments are in there with part number equal to the new part number that you're trying to put in there, and this returns a count, and it stores in a value called at num. And if at num is greater than or equal to 4, it can't have more than 4. So it can have 4. It can have 4, but it can't have more than 4. So really, if we know that the database is correct before we start this, then in theory, all we'd have to do is say if num is equal to 4, because it can't be more than 4. But it's just, we put greater than or equal to 4 because who knows, just to be safe. So if num is greater than or equal to 4, then we have an exception. So we stop at too many shipments of this part type in transit. Excuse me. So that would stop any part number from getting entered in. Now, this is simply for inserting an SP, but we need to do something for updates to SP also, which would be in a different trigger. That would be in the before update trigger. This is the before insert trigger. So let's implement this trigger and see if it works. So I'm just going to copy this here. Copy. And go over here. And I'm going to go to the SP right here. Here's the SP table. I'm going to go over to triggers. And I'm going to add a new trigger right here. And I'm going to call it before insert, I guess. I don't know what to call it. SP before insert. Okay, and I'm going to just do a paste. So here I have, there it's nicely pasted in. Go. Great. Oh, it says before insert here. Okay. All right, so now let's try it out. So I'm over here. Oops, yeah, I do. So I'm here, and I want to add, okay, let's find some, let's just think. So I'm going to do do not an S1. How about an S3? Okay, I can just add an S. Okay, what city is S3 in? What city is S3 in? S3 is in Paris, And let's find a part in Oslo. So P3 and S3. Okay, P3 is in Oslo, and S3 is in Paris. Sounds like a James Bond movie. All right, so I'm going to try to enter 75 parts for that. So I'm going to go over to SP, and I'm going to insert S3, P3, 75. Go. Quantity group less than cities must be the same. All right. That's fine. So I can go 100. And it works. So now when I go here, I see that it's S3, P3 of 100. So we also should do this for the update. Okay, I'll get to that. Let me let me just show you this thing, how to get this thing to work. That's important. Okay, so let me go to cPanel and let's go to File Manager. And also, I'm going to go to Richard, just go to this one here to see what my website looks like. Okay, I don't have anything here, right? So you don't have anything in yours either, do you? You just look at this, just looks like this. Okay, so let me add a, this is assignment 2. So you're in cPanel here, or I just went into the file manager, and it looks like this, and so you have to go into the public_HTML directory. That's actually the same as the www directory. It's a little symbolic link here. Same. You go to the same place, and it looks like this. And here's the CGI bin directory that you see here. You don't see any of the hidden files. You can tell a hidden file because it starts with a period. And if you don't see your hidden files, that's because in your settings, you don't have it set to see hidden files. It looks like this. It's nice to have in your settings showing hidden files. Now I've got this htaccess file in there, and let me see what that's for. I think I know what that's for. Oh, I know what it's for. Let's look at it. Edit. Okay, this makes it so if anybody tries to go to HTTP:// in other words, you want to get around the secure server, this bangs them over to HTTPS. So if I try to go to, I'll start again. HTTP:// richardh.uhmanoa.net. If I try to go there, it, boom, bangs me over to HTTPS. So that's what that .htaccess, well, the .htaccess files do other things too, but lots of other things. But that's what I have in there for this. And if you don't have that in there for yours, I suggest you create a .htaccess file and put this in there so yours stays on the secure server also. Oh, it doesn't really matter that much, but just so you know that. All right, so I'm going to go back here, and I'm actually going to turn off my dots. I don't need to see hidden files. So I'm going to create a folder here called Assignment 2. Assignment 2. Just like that. Whatever. So now I have a folder in there called Assignment 2. And I'm going to go in here, and I'm going to create a folder called Test SP insert. That's what I'm going to name it. I'm going to name it test underscore SP underscore insert dot PHP. Okay, there's my test SP insert dot PHP file. Now I'm going to edit it. Edit. And here we are. And I'm going to go over here. Now I'm going to just copy this. Copy this. Copy. And then go over here, and I'm going to do paste. There it is. All right. So this isn't going to work because it includes this underscore global.php file, and in my underscore global.php file, I want to put the SQL host name, the SQL username, and the SQL password. So I'm going to put those three things in underscore global, and that way, and that's what you should do too, and that way you can show your code around to anybody, but they aren't seeing what your username and password is for your SQL file. And also, I'm going to be displaying up stuff, and I'm going to be displaying up code, and I don't want, so I'm going to create a username and a password to be able to do this, and then I'm going to show you how to do that. And then after I'm done, I'm going to go home, and I'm going to change my password so it's not all displayed up for everybody to see. Although it's just you guys. This I don't make these public, so people in Lima can see it. So I'm going to make this underscore global.html file, and I just decided to name it underscore global.php. Just that's my own convention, and I could name it .global.php, and that would make it invisible when you see it, but it doesn't matter. So I'm going to save this first. And now if I go back here and I hit refresh, I'm at my website, I hit refresh, I see, boom, there's this assignment 2 directory. Go in here, and there's my test SP insert.php, and I click on that, and it's going to say, probably going to say nothing. It says, couldn't connect to MySQL user on server, whatever, access denied for just whatever. So I got to add my global dot, so I'm going to go over here, and I'm going to add another file, and I'm going to go global.php. I'm going to cancel this. I'm going to put it up one level, and I'm going to refer the same. I'm going to create a user, and I'm going to be able to use this global.php for the rest of the assignments. So right here at my root, I'm going to do. I think I'm going to make it hidden also. I've actually never done that, so I'm going to try that. .global.php. See if that works. PHP. Okay, I'm going to name it that. Now I got it. I can't see it. Better change my settings. There it is. So now I'm going to click on that, and I'm going to, okay, so before I do that, I'm going to come over here, MySQL databases, and I'm going to create a new user, a user. Right now I have no users. So I'm going to create a new user called user. And I think for a password, I'll do, they just are so restrictive now. I'm just going to do this password generator thing. That. Copy. I've copied this. Close. I'm going to paste. Oh, I had a chance to say use it, didn't I? Okay. Paste it there. Paste it there. Works. Create user. Oh, what happened? I thought it's got to be kind of user. Didn't I just name it that? Okay. user with that password. Create user. You want to turn your, maybe turn your audio off? You get your audio? Does somebody have a question? Do I have a, okay, go back here. And so now I'm going to, didn't just ask me this? Oh, did I click not now? Oh, wait. Okay, anyway, so here's the user, and name user, and then I'm going to go back up here. Oh no, go back down farther. Add user to database. So I want to add my new user I just created to my SSPP database. Yeah. And I'm going to give myself all the privileges. You can look at these if you want to. Okay, I've given myself all the privilege to this SSPP database. Okay. So now I'm going to go over here, and I'm going to go into this global.php. I'm going to edit it, and I'm going to say question mark PHP SQL user equals R1CHARDH underscore user, and SQL password equals this, and SQL database equals, I don't know, localhost. I think that's what it is. And then I'm done. All right, so save changes. All right, close. All right, so that's there, and I'm going to go back in here, and I'm going to back to editing this thing. Okay, I better pick. Ooh, I named the database in here. Oh, that's right. I'm going to make this //. Hope that works. It doesn't know. So do something else. And I'm going to name this SSPP. SSPP, is that what I named it? All right. Save changes. Let's go back to here. Go back to here. I'm going to go back to here and hit refresh. And there's no sign of any .global. Go in here and go here like this. Well, at least I got this right. Did I not get the password right? No, I got the user right. There is a wrong database name. All right, that's right. I must have the password wrong. All right, let's do this differently. Where is this here like this? All right, the current user is this guy. Change password. I really hope this works. Okay, good. I really hope this works. I really hope this works. Okay, I really hope this works. All right, that's better. Okay, I changed the guy's password. Okay. Now I got to go back here. No, I'm going to go back here. And edit this. I really hope this works. I wonder why. All right. All right. Let's do something different here. I'm going to go like this. Local host R1CHARDH. Oops. R1CHARDH user. I really hope this works. This is not working. Well, that worked. So who knows? All right. So now I have to add that in there. Okay. So let's try to insert something. Let's try to insert. Where is we know that P3 is in Oslo. Where's P3 is in Oslo? Where is P4 is in London? Okay, so P4. So here I go. I'm going to go question mark SNO equals S3 ampersand PNO equals P4 ampersand QTY equals 75. An error occurred. QTY less than 100 cities must be the same. Well, I'm going to try to make this work a different way. Then I'm going to go to here, and I'm going to find a P2 is P5. P5 is in Paris. So I'm going to change this to P5. There we go. All's clear. Not a problem. All right. So now we can go back here and we can look at SP and look at this browse. And there is our S3P5. All right. Well, we're so close to being the end of the class. I don't need to start anything new. So I've shown you how I've thoroughly explained assignment, this description of assignment 2, and I'll go over some other stuff with this assignment next time. Probably talk a little bit, give you some hints on how to do this, and I would like to I will finish making setting up these constraints here to enforce the other ways that like the update constraint and so on, and I guess we don't need to worry about deleting, but we do need to worry about some part changing cities. If some part changes cities, that could cause this same city rule to be violated. So I'll probably do that. All right. So are there any questions? Is it just me? I think. Yeah, it's just me. Is there anybody else on free conference call? No, just me. Okay, so no one's recording. Okay, so both of these are going to be recorded. I must have put them both up, but free conference call is not going to show me. We'll see how it works. All right, so any other questions? Okay, thanks for watching. Let's see.